Alright, so before we get started, we're going to go over a few of the necessary tools and hardware that you're going to need to complete this project. So basically, you're just going to need a basic power drill. This Ryobi 18 volt. And one thing you're going to want to get for drilling all your holes, this is a pilot drill bit. Get a good shot of this. This is a bit that has a countersink and a normal bit in the middle of it. So when you drill your hole, it'll also countersink it at the same time. And we'll go more over drilling the holes when I put the box together later. So you have basic tape measure, wood pencil. Now this is caulking, so we're going to use to seal the inside of the box. You can get this at Home Depot, the hardware store, sometimes Walmart. I preferably use black just because it's easier to see inside the box when you're caulking the seams together to make sure you get a good airtight seal. We'll go over that whenever we do it. You have basic clamps. This is going to be to hold our straight edge together and clamp any wood together we need. The screws we're using to assemble the box, these are just regular drywall screws. They are 1 5/8 long, just long enough to get inside the box. We don't want too long, you're going to really rip through the center of the wood. And we're using a fine thread with this plywood to make sure we're not going to split the wood out. If you use too thick of a thread, you're going to split the wood and you're going to have cracks and all sorts of problems. Of course, you definitely need some good carpenter's glue. This is just regular Elmer's. It's like $5 a bottle at the hardware store. We're going to be using a good circular saw. This is a Craftsman, really good. The blade we're going to use on this is going to be a finishing blade because you don't want to use too big of a blade and too wide a tooth because you're going to split the wood up real bad. You want to get a nice, clean, smooth cut when cutting these so all your seams will line up together. So we're using a finishing blade on this to get a nice seam. We have a caulking gun. This is actually an 18 volt powered one, a little bit easier than a hand one. The one good thing we're going to use, if we don't have a table saw, which a lot of people don't, they're big or expensive, you can use a circular saw with a nice straight edge. This is actually a drywall tee for cutting out drywall, but it works just fine for straight edge for plywood also. It's just a giant T-square basically. This one is about 47 inches long, so it's long enough to go across the full length of the wood. So there's our tools that we're going to be using today and all of our hardware, and we'll go over the wood next. Alright, so the wood we're going to be using to build this box, we are building a PA box, so we're going to do it a little bit different than what you would do a car subwoofer box. So if you're doing a car subwoofer box, this is the material you're definitely going to use for that. This is 3/4 inch MDF medium density fiberboard. This is pretty much industry standard board to build subwoofer boxes out of, or any other kind of speaker box. It's dense, it's heavy, but it holds in the air pressure good. It won't leak, it doesn't reverberate a lot, so all the sound gets focused coming out of your sound ports. Or if you're building a sealed box, this stuff seals really well and gets a nice clean quality sound. The only downside is it is really heavy. Now the boxes we're going to be building are going to house two 18s in them, so this would be way too heavy of a box to build out of this material. That box would weigh probably close to 200 pounds, and we're going to need to be moving these boxes in and out of bars, clubs, and venues when we do concerts. So you want something a little easier to move. So what we're going with this wood is this is a 5/8 plywood. You don't want to do 1/2 inch because it'd be a little too flimsy. 3/4 would be a little too heavy, so we're just going right in between at a 5/8 wood. This can be found at a lumber yard for about $24 a sheet. Now total for this project we're building 2 boxes, so ours is actually about $75 worth of wood. We just got 3 4x8 sheets of plywood, so you're looking at about $75 for the wood to build this box. So this is what we're going to be using to assemble this box. Alright, now you can see we have all of our cuts made. Exact dimensions can be found in the AutoCAD drawing. It is also going to be linked to our website. So lay the boards out, we have our top. This is going to be our back panel. These are the panels that we'll mount the speakers to. These will go vertical. Actually, you see these would be the vent. And this will actually mount straight up in the air. And your vent is going to come back in the back. So this would be our port for the air to come out of the woofer. Leave it go like that. We have our bottom piece. It's all going to sit on top of this. And then our end caps to tie it all in. So after we have all our pieces cut out, we're going to start the assembly, starting with the bottom board first. Attaching the end caps and the back to the bottom board to get our box started. Alright, so you can see now, this is how we do our pilot drills. The bit going all the way around. We're going to measure in half the thickness of the board. So we're using 5/8 plywood. So we measured in our line to drill our holes, about 4 5/16 in, roughly, to put it in the center of the line. We just drill our holes, lay each one out. So you can see how we have a pilot hole. We have a countersink so the head will go through, and then this will keep our boards from splitting out. Alright, so you can see here how we've already drilled all of our pilot drills on our end cap. Now we're going to make a pilot drill hole into the bottom board of our box, so it'll give the screw a starter to go into. And we don't want to go all the way through because then the screw won't have enough to grab. So we're just going the dip of the bit all the way into our bottom board. It always helps to have an extra pair of hands, have somebody hold it for you. This is the hardest step, is just getting your first 2 boards on. So we'll go ahead and make the drills the rest of the way across and get all of our pilot holes done. Alright, next step, we have all of our pilot drills done. We're going to run a good bead of glue down all seams. And from here on, just going to be repeating every step. So we run a bead of glue down, put a couple starter screws in, and bring up our board. Find our hole that we drilled out. So just get a couple started by hand. This will kind of hold it in place while you can attach it. Now it's very important with your drill, you tune your chuck way down on the top. So right now we have our chuck right at about 7. You put this way up on the drill part of the chuck, which would be all the way under here at 24. You're just going to split this wood rod out and then it'll sink that screw all the way through. Now we just want it to go into the wood and grab. So we set our chuck down. There you go, about all the tight it needs to be. There you have, there's our first board. This is our bottom board and our one end cap connected.